The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Once upon a time, Elias Pettersson and Brock Boeser were one of the most dynamic duos in the NHL. And mark my words, they can do it again.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, co-host of Locked On Canucks and also a Canucks reporter for Daily Hive, Vancouver. Before we dive into the show, we got to thank you for tuning in because we're not here without you, and I'm not here without my co-host, Kyle Bhawan. On today's episode, we want to get into the unofficial first day for your Vancouver Canucks. They met with the media at the Milf, aka the Jake Milford golf tournament at Northview in beautiful Surrey, British Columbia. And things on our mind after that: can Pettersson and Boeser fulfill their destiny? I'll tell you why I think.
Pettersson smile? Can Pettersson smile? Can Pettersson smile?
Or is a pissed off Petey better for your Vancouver Canucks? And other takeaways from the media availability day today. Before we get into the show, my question: can Petey be as pissed off as Kyle Bhawan after missing 6 straight days of the gym? Kyle, off you be after 6 straight days of the gym, man.
Yeah, or go 30 days without the devil's lettuce. Speaking of which, I'm sober for the next 30 days. So, do the math, Trevor. You know why I'm doing this, right? When does the season start? 32 days? I'm prepping. I'm getting more sacred. I'm getting more spiritual. Sober mind. Just doing my work. Okay. Once a year, I like to go sober, and here I am doing it. Ironically, right before the season starts, and a lot of things to talk about. And I'm trying to be hopeful, Trevor. And I don't know if you've noticed over the last couple of days, maybe things are not going smooth at home. Trevor, it'd be nice if you checked up on me once in a while. For real. But a little bit more pessimism. Right? You hear it in my voice. Like, I'm scared. I'm traumatized. Last year really hurt me. The season from hell. And now, like, I don't know. Again, the Jake Milford, the golf tournament, the interviews, the official season starter. And here I am, hoping to just talk about Boeser and Pettersson finding a lot of chemistry and maybe being this 1-2 punch that nobody's talking about because we stopped talking about those two being a 1-2 punch a couple years ago. But I don't know. Am I stupid for demanding more of a smile or more smiles per 60 when it comes to Elias Pettersson talking to the media for the first time after the shittiest season of his career and getting paid 11.6 and being accountable for a lot of like what went wrong with this team? I don't know. Just something told me that, man, I know it's the media and it's not hockey, but it's like, he's like, I got to do this all over again. And it's like, I wanted more smiles, Trevor. That's all. I want, the kids are watching, Trevor. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. The kids are watching and Kyle Bhawan is watching, and I want more positivity.
Well, Kyle, how much would you be smiling if you had like 12 microphones shoved in your face and you had to, look at a face like mine in those scrums, man? Like, how happy would you be? Would you be cracking smiles?
And your first team meetings at a golf course, Trevor. Yeah, how happy would, dude? Just what is wrong with even faking it a little, just to give, like, I don't know, the fan base, just I don't know. Look how happy Kevin Lankin. Everyone's different. I know everyone's different, right? But this is like the body language. It's like it was giving me. Oh, we have to do this again, or like, and not like fresh start. That's just me. I'm looking too much into it. Read too many books about body language and leadership, and I don't know. I just wanted more smiles. But again, Trevor, you can slap me in the face, be my daddy, and discipline me. So I'll shut up. Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, man, I think we'll talk more about as a pissed off Petey good for the Canucks on the other side. But I don't really care if he's smiling or not, because I do believe that Brock Boeser and Elias Pettersson have the ability to make Canuck fans really smile this season. And it has really been a long time since they have been a threatening forward duo out there, right? Really, it was the first 2 years of Pettersson's career where the two players showed some legitimate chemistry. And, every dares might know I've referenced this before, but back in 2018, I wrote an article for Nucks Misconduct about the most dynamic forward duos in the NHL. And that season, Elias Pettersson and Brock Boeser were top 10 in terms of their points at even strength when they were on the ice together and assisting on each other's goals. They did, as a rookie and a sophomore, look like one of the most dangerous forward duos in the NHL. So if these guys can do that, in their early 20s, why can't they do it now when they're theoretically in their prime? And it is really going to depend on what Pettersson looks like at training camp. And that's obviously the biggest storyline as we get into next week and as the Canucks gather in Penticton for training camp. Is Pettersson's speed back? Is Pettersson's shot back? Because if those two things are back or back to at least, 70% of what they were before, these two have the ability to be dangerous together, right? Because Brock Boeser is not a burner. But if he plays like a guy like Pettersson who has the speed, has the shooting threat, then I think those two can absolutely work as a duo. Now, Kyle, again, when I'm thinking about the best lines, we've talked about throughout the offseason, we've talked about it recently on other episodes of Locked On Canucks. I do think that if Pettersson and Boeser are going to work together, I think it's got to be with Nils Höglander, ideally. Like Vander Kane could work there, but then you have two more shoot first guys. I mean, they both got some puck skills for sure, but I just think the best scenario for the Canucks is Höglander, Pettersson, and Boeser as your top one on opening night. Again, Höglander's got to earn it. Pettersson's got to show that he, at least has some semblance of the superstar that he was before. But there is a path here for Pettersson and Boeser to tear up the league, much like they did through their first couple NHL seasons. And Kyle,
tear it up.
I was looking back at the numbers when during Pettersson's first 3 seasons when these two played together. Pettersson's points per 60 at even strength, it was 2.83 points per 60, which is one of the, that's an elite rate or borderline elite rate. And that's with Brock Boeser on the ice. And over the past couple of seasons, these two haven't been able to generate anything. Like there's been moments, right? I think of Brock Boeser scoring that goal against St. Louis to tie the game with, 2.5 seconds left off a great pass from Pettersson. Like these two have the skills to do it. This was their destiny before when they were young bucks on the Vancouver Canucks. And now that they're in their prime, now is the time to show it's possible. I do believe it's possible. And again, if it's not possible, Canucks might be in trouble. But the Canucks have had success with these two on the same line throughout different seasons. But without Miller here now, I do think the best path for the Canucks to be dangerous offensively is Pettersson and Boeser clicking as one of the best offensive duos in the NHL.
And Trevor, we need to put more pressure on Brock Boeser, being the guy who raises up his ceiling, right? Like, I was like, oh yeah, it's got to be on Elias Pettersson. If he's back, then everything it takes form, and him and Brock can have chemistry. No, can Brock be a superstar again? Because outside of year one and year, I don't know, 2023, 2024, Brock Boeser hasn't really been given that superstar aura, energy time in and time out. He's been a good player. He's been a Tyler Toffoli, right? But when this guy broke in and when he was playing again early on with Pettersson, we had that hope. We had that faith, right? And I know Brock's gone through a lot and he continues to have to deal with personal ordeals, and he's hopefully now it's smooth sailing considering he just signed for 8 years and he can kind of settle down now. And I think he's a sensitive dude. I don't think that's I think Troy Stetcher called him Mr. Sensitive too, and he's been open about the noise getting to the room, and he's one of those guys. I don't know if he can block out the noise as well. And now for me personally, it's Canucks fans have to demand more out of Brock consistently. He's still in the prime of his career, and he got 8 years, and did he get 8? Was it 8 or 7? 8?
7 for Brock Boeser.
7. He got 7, and he's making a ton of money now. I don't know. I think it's okay. And Trevor answered this, and people in the comments answered this as well. Is it okay to put a lot of pressure on Brock Boeser now? Because I think there's a little testament around him from certain people in the fan base and media that are like, oh, he is what he is. He is what he is. How about no? How about bring us the juice again? How about you go coast to coast? How about you score bar down goals again? Be that guy. And ironically, we're talking about a pissed off Pettersson and what that could do for the Canucks. I think we saw what a pissed off Brock Boeser could do for the Canucks in that short little stint post trade deadline when he was just ripping it up. And, look at this goal he scored against St. Louis to tie it up. Look at the goal he scored against the New York Rangers to tie it up late in that game before Kevin Lankinen shit the bed and allowed a stinker. He was doing things on his own, and I want more of that from Brock Boeser. And I think he can do some carrying for Elias Pettersson as well. We all look at Pettersson situation and we make up a bunch of excuses and whatnot. And one of the excuses is like, oh, he's had nobody to play with. Okay, well, I don't know if that's true or not, but it would be ironic if Brock turned into a superstar again. And then I could see those two have unbelievable chemistry. I don't want to put that on Elias.
Oh, I think that's a great point, right? And like you said, Brock Boeser, now the second highest paid forward on this team, making $7.25 million per season in US dollars, baby. And yeah, there should be pressure on Brock Boeser to succeed and be a top line player. I mean, he's a year removed from scoring 40 goals, right? And 4 goals on opening night certainly helped that. But you're looking at Brock Boeser and Elias Pettersson, right? 2 players that really did end their season on a high note, right? You mentioned Brock Boeser going on a bit of a tear post-trade deadline. Pettersson averaging over a point per game before an injury ended his season. These two ended last season on a right note, if you can call it that. And, we've heard everything about the great offseason from Elias Pettersson and hopefully Brock Boeser. Again, the Canucks need him to be a first-line winger, right?
Yeah.
That's a big reason why they circled back in free agency because they were obviously lacking things offensively. So, I think these two have the ability to do it. That's all I'm saying. Canuck fans, hold out hope because as much as we're being negative about this upcoming season, Elias Pettersson and Brock Boeser still have the chance to fulfill their Vancouver Canucks destiny, which is being one of the most dynamic forward duos in the NHL.
So, sorry to cut you off. You're lagging a bit, and I'm just looking at the Brock Boeser stat line from all these years, and maybe we'll touch on this on the other side, but through Brock Boeser's career, I'll go through the whole list, and then Trevor just answer me, like, do you think this guy can be a superstar? Can this guy be a consistent 75 to 80 point guy? First season, 62 games played. He had 55 points, including 29 games. That's pretty good. That's damn good. That's maybe he's getting to 70 points. Maybe he's getting to 35 goals. Season after that, 69 games played. He had 56 points, 26 goals. Again, that's pretty damn good. I mean, we're talking about a second-year player. Like, he's killing it. The year after that, 57 games played, 45 points. That's a COVID-shortened season. Again, if you pace that out, like 65, 70 points, probably, the all-Canadian season, he was really good. 49 points in 56 games. Like, early on in this guy's career, I mean, it's like a guarantee he's getting 70 points, 75 points, 30 goals for the 140 goal season a couple seasons ago. And then, like, look what happened in 2021, 2022, and 2022, 2023. You had, 46 and 55 points in 70 plus games. And then if you look at what happened last year, he had 50 points in 75 games. And that's after he scored 40 goals in 2024. And it's like, yo, that's got to stop for Brock. Like, he's got to get back to being a consistent 70 to 80 point guy. And like, I don't get used to Brock being a 55 point guy. Like, oh, he scored 26 goals and that's good enough. Like, oh, the cap's going up. Like, based on what he gives you with his two-way game, that's good enough. How about no? How about be a Brock star again and be a superstar winger? And like Trevor said, be a top line winger for this team.
Yeah, 100%. I want you to let us know in the comments here on YouTube or wherever you interact with us. Do you want to see Pettersson and Boeser play together this season? And if so, who do you want to see on their line? I see a comment or two about that. We'll touch on that to wrap up the show, and we'll be back on the other side to talk about a pissed off Petey and maybe even a pissed off Kyle here on Locked On Canucks. Before we get back to the program, let's shout out our friends over at FanDuel. FanDuel, baby. They got all your betting needs, okay? NFL season is back week 1. Woo-hoo! What a banger, especially for Kyle's Green Bay Packers. Congrats, Kyle, to a dominant performing from your Packers.
Yep.
And making me lose my bet because I thought the Lions were going to win. I like the line there on the Lions. So this is why you don't always listen to Beggsy.
No, this is why you trade for Micah Parsons.
If you had to buy a new Packers jersey right now, would you be going Love, Parsons, or somebody else?
I'd buy a Jordan Love jersey and give it to my girlfriend.
Nice. Spread the love, baby.
Exactly.
Spread the love, man. And you know what? Maybe if you won a few bets on FanDuel, you can also spread the love. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Monday night or tonight, Chicago Bears, Minnesota Vikings. I'm personally not touching this one. The line is incredibly close. Maybe because Kyle hates the Vikings more, I'd bet on the Vikings. But that's a tough one to gauge. But you'll find everything on there from prop bets, in-game bets. You can bet in-game on the app. They got it all, baby. So are you ready to play? If so, go download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. If you have gambling problems, we got numbers in the hotline in the description of this episode. If you're good to go visit FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet.
People, we back doing this, and that's talking about Elias Pettersson's body language, okay? And reading your comments here on Locked On Canucks. Okay, James Moore, don't Google him. Please don't Google James Moore. You don't want your computer to turn off. This guy's saying Pettersson gained 13 pounds this summer, okay? That's a hopeful sign, and, Pettersson alluded to that. 6 kilos, right? Not, just saying what it was. I don't know if the ring weighs 6 kilos, right? Is he stepping on that scale with the ring on? Right? I don't know, but hey, 13 pounds, boom, bam. I don't know if this is like headline news. I think he cracked a joke surrounding that as well. Like, oh, put this in your headlines. But yeah, I don't know what to say about this, Trevor. Like, to me, it's like putting on the weight is one thing, but to me, it's not the most important thing, because I think a lot of what Pettersson is going through is like a lack of confidence and all the mental stuff, like being able to like suck in all the noise and actually like smoke it and live in it and not like throw it away, So I don't know. I'm not gonna guarantee Pettersson's back because he gained 13 pounds.
Well, I'll tell you what my first thought was when I saw this. I don't know if you remember. I think it's from about 5 seasons ago. And Brock Besser came into camp saying he added like 10 pounds of muscle and he was like at 210 or 215. And that was one of the seasons where he was not good and he looked noticeably slower there. Of course, he had a lot going on in that season. But putting on weight doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be better. Now, to go for some flip side energy, some positive energy, I want to read a tweet from Cam Robinson. He said, tweet from 161 on draft day for Pettersson to 190 today. It took 8 years, but Elias Pettersson finally has the strength to match his skill. Perfect timing for a revenge tour. That's the energy we need, baby. Let's go.
And yeah, just give credit where credit is due. You got the 190, put in the work. I get what Cam's trying to say, right? This is a big one. This no hurdles, no knee injury. No, the tendonitis disappeared. Apparently he found the cure for tendonitis. I never found that when we did the tendonitis report last year. All in all, though, Petey, man. Just for the rest of the month, can you smile more, man, please? Because, if he doesn't smile a lot during the next couple weeks and the preseason starts and this guy struggles in the preseason, like, it's like, sometimes you got to fake it till you make it, Sometimes you just got to relax. And Trevor, do us a favor. I don't know if you're going to training camp. Somebody asked you to. Is Beggsy heading to Penticton? Is that what you're doing? Are you doing that? No? Are you going to training camp? Are you allowed to say it? Oh, you're going to Penticton. Okay. So can you slap me in the face and actually give real body language reports? I don't know if that's the type of podcast you want to be, live in assumption and live in the Deepak Chopra world, but just let us know like how Pettersson's energy is, exuding. Is that the right word? Does he have a lot of aura? Because to me, it's like one thing to be, and correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm asking for too much, but it's like, cool, you gained 13 pounds, you got stronger, bada bing, bada bum. But are you a more positive guy? That matters to me. Are you less stressed out? That matters to me because, like it or not, and I know people are like, oh, he's introverted and he doesn't have to be no, he does have to be a leader. He does have to be a leader. And I don't know, just in September, it'd be not, I hope he adds I don't know, a bit of relaxation or a bit of like positive aura into that room based on him having his swagger back, him not being so serious all the time. And again, am I asking for too much, Trevor? Am I saying too much here?
You know what? I'm gonna play something right now, and I'm gonna tell you to shut up. Okay, let's just take a deep breath, man. Okay, it's all good. Dude, you need to calm the F down, man. Honestly, because look, let me tell you one guy who almost never smiles. Quinn frickin' Hughes never smiles, man. I think I saw him smile once last season, and that's because he threw a hit on a guy, right?
Thank
Quinn Hughes never smiles, and he's still one of the best goddamn NHLers out there. And for me personally, I don't need a happy-go-lucky, joking around, la-di-da, artsy-fartsy Pettersson, okay? I need a pissed-off Petey. I need a pissed-off Petey who's angry about last season, who's, driven to show people that last season was a mirage. Again, he put on the weight, that's great, but I want Petey to be pissed off. I want him to feel unfulfilled. I want him coming in and being ready for the revenge tour, being ready to prove the NHL wrong. So personally, when I saw Pettersson barely cracking smiles today, man, I'm happy, man. I'm saying thank you, Pettersson. Thank you. Okay, I hope he's not so stressed out behind the scenes. But man, oh man, I do want a pissed off Petey heading into cap. Kyle, I'm gonna let you wrap up the segment. Cut to break. We'll be back on the other side for other media takeaways because my daughter's yelling, baby.
Okay. Do your thing. Help your daughter out. Take your time. Okay. I'm a good uncle, so take your time. Thank you, Trevor. Thank you for again slapping me in the face with your fatherhood and providing wisdom, man. Because maybe I should relax. Maybe I should take only optimism in the lack of smiles per 60 coming out of Elias Pettersson. Because Trevor's onto something. Angry athletes, they work sometimes. Quinn Hughes never cracks a smile too. And let's have Pettersson want to stick it up. Guys like me, right? Stick it up all the media members who are doubting him. Again, just whatever fuels him. At the end of the day, it's about winning. It's not about us being right or wrong. It's about Pettersson finding his game. And if he needs anger to fuel him, so be it. And let me know in the comments if Kyle demanding more smiles per 60 is again immature of me to say. Okay, for lack of a better term. Okay, am I being a bit of a diva? Am I asking for too much? Is body language a real thing in sport? I like to believe it, but apparently Trevor's like, screw it. If a player's slouched over and angry and frowning, that's a good thing. Take that from Trevor, okay? Take that from Trevor. If a guy has a frown on his face, he's actually smiling. That's what Trevor's trying to say. I don't know what Deepak Chopra book you read, right? Cheapak Chopra. That's what you reading.
Yeah, I didn't read any Deepak Chopra book, so maybe that's the issue, man. Okay, let's.
Can I get a live reaction from you though? Okay.
Yeah.
Can you on your computer? Because again, okay. Am I a piece of shit for doing this? No, I'm not. I'm just hockey nerding out. I'm talking to my friend. Okay, this not a YouTube show. This nothing. This is just me and Trevor talking. Go to the Canucks Twitter page and go watch the first second of Pettersson's media availability today. And does it not look like this guy took like the deepest breath and had his eyes roll back before he had to talk? Or is that just me? No, watch the first half a second. I felt like his soul left his body. No?
I don't know about the eyes rolling back, but he definitely took a deep breath there.
Yeah, it was like, yo, that's what it got me. I'm like, yo, relax, please. Like,
let them trying to relax, man. When my kids need to relax, I always tell them to take a deep breath, man.
Okay.
And
yep, there you go, Kyle.
So you know what? That's fine, man. That's fine.
Play the music again. Let's get to break. Play the music again, Trevor. Play the music.
All right, we'll be back on the other side. Other media day thoughts and your comments coming up here on Locked On Canucks.
Okay, we back doing this, talking about your Canucks and Trevor, man, walking me off the ledge. Because again, I'm not trying to do this, Trevor. I'm just, if my girlfriend taught me anything, it's expressing your feelings no matter what. Okay, Trevor, that's what I'm doing here, and I'm dealing with some trauma. I'm thinking about last year a lot, and again, I think I have like pessimistic lenses on right now, which is crazy because before September 1st hit, I was excited. And here I am being a piece of shit. And Trevor, I'm happy to have you by my side because I don't think your optimism is for show. I don't think you're just trying to create like this Karma Sutra on the program because balance is good for entertainment. I think you're actually worried about me and giving me great advice. So I just want to thank you for being my daddy today.
Hey man, even though that you're my elder, I guess when it comes to role playing, I guess anything is possible, man. And just for one more sliver of optimism, and maybe I'll dig into this a bit more. But just looking at the teams, underlying power play stats after JT Miller left. In terms of expected goals, they were top 10 in the league at generating after JT Miller left. I mean, the power play in general last season wasn't good when JT Miller's there. And that is largely a Pettersson that featured, largely a power play that featured Elias Pettersson and Brock Besser, of course, Quinn Hughes driving the bus there. So again, there's reasons for optimism that Pettersson and Boeser can be those guys for the Vancouver Canucks. And God damn it, the Vancouver Canucks need those guys. Kyle, a couple other guys that got mentioned during media day. Kevin Lankinen, we heard the old cliche, I'm in the best shape of my life. But, that's a guy who, he got the bag. He got the money, He bet on himself last year and then got paid, over $22 million over the next 5 years. So Kevin Lankinen seems ready to go. And Tyler Myers, I'm curious for your thoughts on this. He talked about how, Kane's going to fit in great to this team. He's exactly what we need because I know how he plays because I played with him at the World Juniors. And I'm like, that was almost 20 years ago.
Yeah. These hockey players just say things. No, but I wonder if Myers said that because he is a hockey guy, like good old Canadian kid. And I know he hasn't had a ton of playoff success, but, he made the playoffs a lot with Winnipeg and whatnot. I wonder if he said what he said about Evander Kane because his team doesn't have JT Miller. No?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's possible. Sorry, my daughter was yelling again. I'm again, gradual entry to kindergarten is throwing me off here, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, Tyler Myers, Evander Kane, two of the oldest guys on the team. I do think the hockey cliches do get thrown in a lot this time of year. And Tyler Myers is generally just like a very positive guy in general. Like if you're in that locker room, he is probably one of the nicest guys to talk to. And that tends to happen around leaders. And, leaders tend to be positive and maybe have a positive influence on the younger guys who might be a little grumpier, right? So
thank you. That's what I'm trying to say, bro. Okay, now not to turn back to Elias Pettersson, but it's like, please fake your anger. Like, don't just be fake positive for everyone around you. That's kind of like, what I'm asking for from, a team that lost a big leader in Miller last year, quote unquote, whatever. Like you can poop on Miller's leadership. I honestly, he was a shitty leader last year, so I'll give you that. But like we need more. Like Trevor, like is this crazy to say? Because I'm trying to win championships. If Tyler Myers is your third best leader in that room, you're not winning a championship. Like kudos to you for being a good leader and doing your part as a teammate. But if I'm a young guy coming into that room or just any there's got to be a pecking order to this thing. And this team lost Horvat. This team lost Miller. Right. And if you want to even if you want to nitpick, they lost Ian Cole. They lost Nikita Zadorov in 2 years. They lost Rick Tocchet. It's not a lot for me to ask Elias Pettersson to be an incredible leader off the jump, for real. And fake some positivity. Maybe I'm looking into it too much, but just be the hardest working person in camp too. Be the first one on, the last one off, right? Be completely accountable and don't be so pissed off. Just don't be so pissed off, man. But again, that's just me. That being said, Trevor did make a good point. Maybe he can use the anger as some fuel. I need to.
You know what you need,
some
Kyle?
water. I need some green tea.
You need the commenters, man. All right, a couple comments to wrap up here on Locked On Canucks. Let's go to James Moore first, man. Shout out to James Moore. Unlike Kyle Bound, I say do Google this guy, man. He's got some influence. James Moore saying that he wants lotto line in terms of 640 and 91, aka Evander Kane or Kiefer Sherwood. So poo-pooing on my idea of having Höglander on the top line. Kyle, what are your thoughts? Like if Pettersson and Boeser are a forward duo for the Canucks, who is the best winger for them? Or who do you want to see most? That's probably a better question.
I think you've given this thing deep thought, and I'm trying to love your Höglander take, because originally, and I said this before, I want Sherwood to play with Pettersson because I think they do have a bit of a baseline of chemistry, and a lot of that was held up by Kiefer Sherwood's play. But there were some plays they were making together when Pettersson wasn't swaggy that was converting because Sherwood was just bringing it. And I think he wants that opportunity, and that might be dangerous for the Canucks, right? You put Sherwood up there. He has a great start to the season, and you do got to sign this guy for $5 million per or whatever it is. But, I think there's definitely something there. But if Höglander can go from the fourth line to the first line and just live up to his potential, then I don't know, you drop Sherwood down, you put Sherwood and Hedel together, or Sherwood and Garland or something. I don't know, like you get what I'm saying? Like I could even see Garland and Sherwood have incredible chemistry for real. So yeah, it's either Sherwood or Höglander. To me, Evander Kane, Brock Boeser, and Elias Pettersson. I don't know. I really don't know about that.
Again, a couple shoot first guys on that line. I think Besser's more of a playmaker than Kane, but I'm not in love with that idea either. I think if Kane's going to play there, it should be Garland on right wing, not Brock Boeser.
Yeah.
We got to shout this out, man. Sensei Dean Y in the comments. We haven't touched on this yet. What does everyone think about the entry fee to watch practice and the training camp scrimmage? Oh my God, man, this is kind of crazy. The Blue versus White scrimmage on Saturday, $40 to watch a scrimmage. Full camp package, $62. Oh my God, man. This was $5 a day in 2023 with all proceeds donated to charity. What the hell is going on with the Canucks right now? Again, jacking ticket prices after one good season. They sucked last year. Now they're jacking prices for training camp scrimmages. Look, there's not a lot of information about what other teams are doing right now. I know the Red Wings have fairly high prices too. They're $20 USD per day for practices and scrimmages. So yeah, I mean, I guess the Canucks aren't the only team charging a pretty penny, but they are charging more than any other team right now in terms of scrimmages, man. And I think it's just, yeah, it's really unfortunate. I'll put it that way.
Trevor, man, come on. The Canucks aren't making money. Aquilini's not making a lot of money. I'm not saying he's broke or the Canucks are broke or they're not making a couple million a year, but lack of playoff revenue. I'm sure jersey sales are down. This team loses a lot. And it's accumulated since this team's been a perennial loser pretty much almost from 2015, right? They made the playoffs that year, but they've made the real playoffs once since. So that's 10 years, bro. And we're about to stumble upon the 2026 campaign, right? 2025, 2026. That'll be an 11-year stretch. I don't think they have the excess money. And bro, they done. I'm not trying to pat Aquilini on the back, but I'm just saying he's dumping a lot of money into all the seats and stuff too. They're doing big renovations. They're running like a business. They're running like a business right now, as opposed to a passion hockey project. Because don't get me wrong, it's gross. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I could see why they're doing it. Now, Trevor, do you know if the $40 comes with a free hot dog?
As per my reports, it does not come with a free hot dog.
Oh, okay, no. Trevor. So when you go there to Penticton, so you got to talk to the people, man. See if the people of Penticton are mad about this, and how there's fake outrage. What if the people work hard up there? That I'm sure they don't have a Whole Foods up there, so they're not spending $40 on 2 mangoes and a pack of blueberries. So maybe they have the money to throw around. They just want to give it to the Canucks. Okay, do some investigating. Okay, maybe this is some fake outrage. Next comment, and this is the last one. It comes from Sensei again. Thanks to Mr. Sensei for joining us and providing the light. We need you more than ever. Okay, can you stick with us the whole way through? We really need you in September here because I'm something's going on with me, Trevor. So I need a hug. Kyle is right. Positive energy does help, but also as a sensei, everyone has their own buttons that brings the best out of them. Again, Elias Pettersson to me seems a little moody, even though I saw this. I think Daily Hive just posted this little photo of him, so he's smiling here. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong because I read this quote or I made up this quote. Right? I said, "Insecure people only pay attention to what they don't want to hear." Right? So maybe I'm not looking at him smiling or looking at anything else positive that he said. I'm just looking at the negative stuff because I'm going through my stuff. All that being said, yeah, whatever gets this guy going. If he's angry, and he wants to shove it up, you know what? Do it. Just bring your juice on the ice, and maybe he's smiling here. Devil's advocate, playing the other end of the spectrum because JT Miller's not there. Rick Tocchet's not there. You know what I'm saying?
There we go, man. That would make a lot of sense to me, man. Again, I think there's bigger and better things for Beefy Pete coming up this season, and bigger and better things for Locked On Canucks, man. So again, if you like what we're doing, we appreciate you for tuning in. You can help us out by liking and subscribing on YouTube on the podcast. Go follow us and a 5-star review. That would go a long way. Something I can show my wife and Kyle can show his girlfriend. And hey, maybe even help him buy a Jordan Love jersey for his girl. Again, we appreciate all you for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow on Locked On Canucks. I'm Trevor Beggs. That guy's Kyle Bhawan, and you've been listening to Locked On Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.